How you doing? Hope you're doing great. You have a great day. Crack that whip.
All right. So, Chapter 8, Section 4, Solving and Graphing Inequalities. Now, the properties for inequalities are the same as for equations, except when you multiply or divide by a negative. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, the arrow flips. So, like here, you'd multiply both sides by -4. Here, you'd divide both sides by -3. But when you multiply or divide both sides by a negative, the arrow flips. Otherwise, it's just like equations. All right? And so, first off, I want to do a little tutorial on graphing, make sure. So I don't bother doing, I just draw a number line and I just put 3 tick marks. And since it's 5, I'm going to go 4, 5, 6, and I do a circle there. Now the question is, do I fill the circle in or not? Well, it's greater than 5, so I don't fill the circle in, and I just shade. The arrow tells me I shade that way. And I shade in the arrow, and I put my X here. That's greater than 5. It's that arrow, it's that arrow, it's that simple. Here, X is less than or equal to -4. So I do my 3 tick marks. Negatives go in the opposite order, like here's 0, -1, -2. I put my open circle there. And I don't want the circle on top or sitting up in space or sitting on top line. I want the line going through the circle. Now it equals -4, so I'm going to fill the circle in. And then it's less than -4, which means it's that way. It's less than -4. It's on the left. And I shade in between. And I put my X there. I can look at that. X is less than or equal to -4. So one more. Oh, and then what if your variable's on the right? Don't ever graph it when the variable's on the right. Here it does matter. You have to flip it around and your variable needs to end up on the left-hand side. Equations don't matter, but inequalities do. If your variables, oh, here's your second reason to flip the arrow, is when you're all done, if your variable's on the right, you need to flip it. And so here, 5, 6, 7, there's my circle. It equals 6, so I shade in 6. And it's greater than, I shade in to the right and I shade in. And that's M is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to do skills number 1 on page 332. Here it is. So again, I'm not gonna bother to draw the line because that'll kind of mess me up here. But I'm just gonna add 7 to both sides. 5x is greater than 10. And then divide both sides by 5. X is greater than 2. I guess if you want to lightly draw the line, you could do that. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And there's my open circle. Do I fill the circle in? Yes, because it doesn't equal 2, so I leave it open. And I'm shading this way, and it's greater, so I shade in that arrow to show that it keeps going. And here's my X. Solve and graph. So here, I'm going to draw the line just lightly. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides and 2/3, and that adding and subtracting never flips 0, and that's 4. And really, maybe the easiest way is do this one at a time. I'm going to get rid of the denominator. I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. And so 2n equals 12. And then I'm going to divide by 2, so n equals 6. I guess that's the safest way. Here, the other way, this is the way that I'd like you to do it. Here's 2/3 n was less than or equal to 4. I'd like you to just multiply by the reciprocal. Multiply by 3/2, those cancel. Stick a 1 under here, that cancels, and 2, and you get n is less than or equal to 6. That's the fast way. Fractions, just multiply both sides by the reciprocal. If that doesn't make sense, just do them one at a time. And I would get rid of the denominator first. Opposite dividing by 3 is multiplying by 3. Then divide by 2. But you can just multiply both sides by the reciprocal. See, so it's 5, 6, 7. There's my circle. Oh wait, I said equals. It's less than or equal to, less than or equal to. So I fill in the circle and I'm shading to the left. There's my n, right? Number 3 here. So I'm gonna draw my line just gently. So I'm gonna add 9 to both sides. So negative 4a is greater or equal to 16. I'm gonna divide both sides by negative 4. And when you multiply or divide both sides by negative, you flip the arrow. Multiplying and dividing signs are different. My answer is negative 4. So here's my negative 4. So you put a negative 5 out here and a negative 3 over there. Here's my circle. Do I shade in the circle? Yes. Why? Because it equals. It equals negative 4. Which way do I shade? Well, the arrow tells me. I shade in that arrow. And I shade in between. I put my letter there. So I could look at this graph and say A is less than or equal to negative 4. I should be able to go either way. From the graph, I should be able to write my inequality. From the inequality, I should be able to write my graph. So here, you could just divide both sides by 6. That's one way. Yeah, that'd be the fastest way. But here, let's just distribute. Because I say you're supposed to simplify first before you solve. So let's just simplify first. Okay, then I'm going to 6x is, because that's kind of, that might mess you up. Yeah, that kind of breaks the rule of not simplifying first. But anyways, you could have just divided both sides by 6 and had x minus 2 equals 3 and then added 2. You still get the same answer, right? So here's my 5. So 4, 5, 6. What kind of circle? Open, because it's no equals, and I'm shading to the right because it's greater than, and I put my x here. Groovy? And then skill check number 2 on page 333. So I've got them written down. Here you're just solving. We're not going to graph, all right? Oh no, I guess I am graphing. I'm going to graph anyways. Don't have to. So I got my constant on the right, so I want to move subtract 2x from both sides. So 3x is less than or equal to negative 9. So then I divide both sides by 3. X is less than or equal to negative 3. I don't care if the answer is negative, that doesn't flip. It's only if you multiply or divide both sides by negative, that flips 0. It doesn't matter about the answer. So here's negative 3, so negative 4, negative 2. That's that. I'm going to fill in the circle, and I'm going to shade to the left, and there's my x. Didn't have to graph it, but I'm just okay, so here I got variables on both sides, constant on the right. So I'm just going to subtract x. I'll put a 1 there. Subtract 1x. Draw my line. So negative 3x is less than 27. Divide by negative 3. Now what happens when you multiply or divide by a negative? Yep, the arrow flips. So you get x is greater than negative 9. I guess I won't bother graphing it. Didn't have to. Here you got variables on both sides. So I'm going to get my variables on I'm going to get them on the left. When it's inequalities, I'm going after this one. But I'd want to do that anyways for the other one. Go after this one. So subtract 3. So 2x is less than, bad guys and bad guys is a lot of bad guys. Then divide by 2. I don't care about the answer. That doesn't flip the arrow. I don't care that the answer is negative 2. Multiplying and dividing signs are different. My answer is negative. Anyways, I'd have negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, open circle, shading to the left, right? Here, I'll put a 1 here. I'm going to get my variables on the left-hand side so that I don't, when it's inequalities, I always move on the left. And you could just, equations, you could just always put on the left. Okay, that's fine. Bad guys and bad guys, that's a lot of bad guys. Add and subtracting never flips the arrow. Right, now I'm going to subtract 16 from both sides. Negative 9y is greater than or equal to bad guys and bad guys is a lot of bad guys. If you just say it every time, you get to be a rock star at this. And now, the opposite multiply by negative 9 is dividing by negative 9. And when you multiply and divide by negative, you flip the arrow. And multiplying and dividing, the signs are the same. Your answer is positive. So it'd be 3, 4, 5, closed circle, shading to the left. So there you go, buddy.